Hello, so yesterday on June the 25th, 2020, it was officially announced by the DVSA that driver lessons can resume from July the 4th. Notice how I say can, not will. So in this video, I'm going to go over all the details about how lessons will be different. We're going to look at theory tests, and I'm also going to talk importantly about ADI tests, that is tests for driving instructors, because ever since this began, since the lockdown happened, ADIs have been completely forgotten about, PDIs too. People who are training to be instructors, there's been no word at all for 3 months about their tests. So all of that's coming in this video, and I'm going to explain about how things will be very different, and how even though lessons can resume, they maybe won't. So first of all, let's go over this email, and I'll put a link to this in the description below. So it's called Restarting Driver and Rider Instruction and Tests. And it says the government has confirmed that driver and rider instruction can restart from 4th of July in England. So this is only for England, doesn't affect Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. We are waiting for more word on that, and that will be coming over the coming days. They've confirmed that car, motorcycle and vocational tests can restart after this point. And this is important. Driving tests are not going to be starting on July the 4th. I'll come to that soon. The 4th is when lessons will begin, but they've deliberately moved the test back. But one important point, it does say here that they will be supporting the test and trace service in England. So before we take a look at this second page, which is quite long and detailed, and it's all about driving tests, driving lessons and theory tests, before we look at that, let's just talk about why some instructors won't go back to work, and why it's not quite going to be as simple as you may think. There are certain groups of people out there who are far more at risk of this virus than others. Now these include anyone over the age of 50. If you are over the age of 50, you are less likely to want to go back to doing lessons, and many instructors out there are over the age of 50. I've been contacted by some in their 50s and 60s who have said, I don't care if lessons start up again, I won't be doing them because I don't feel safe. If you are a man, you are more at risk of becoming seriously ill from the virus. If you have an underlying health condition such as diabetes or asthma, you are far more at risk of getting seriously ill from the virus. There are many others that I could mention, but quite simply, I predict about probably half of all instructors won't be going back on July the 4th, although you can, doesn't mean you'll be able to, or that you'll choose to. So this comes back to a point I made in my last video about supply and demand. Now, one of the main things that will stop driving lessons continuing for many instructors and pupils is the fact that you will have to wear a face covering. And this is one of those things a lot of people have said, well, I'll just wear a face covering. But have you actually tried doing that for 2 hours? Now, I've been in hospital twice during the lockdown, and I've been into a doctor's surgery as well. And I had to wear a face covering for, I think it was only 20 minutes. And it was one of the most uncomfortable experiences I've had in years. It feels awful. It's so claustrophobic to have this thing over your face, and it feels like that, it's like you're being muffled, and it's horrible. And I noticed that within about 30 seconds, you've got dribble running down your chin and dripping onto your shirt. And in fact, I'll put a face mask on now, and I'll show you what it's like. So here I am, this is my face mask, which may look as though it's inside out. I know most people have one where the blue is on the outside, but on this one, the white is on the outside. This is my souvenir. And this is a bit like my hypnosis work, what you call an anchor. When you put this on, it takes you back to a previous state you can remember in your life. And this reminds me of sitting in hospital twice during the COVID outbreak, which wasn't a very nice experience, let me tell you that. And to anyone who works in a hospital, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if this will sound any different. You might sound a bit more muffled, but yeah, just so you know, this is what it will look like to be doing a driving lesson. And it doesn't actually feel too bad, I have to say. I think you do get used to it after a while, but it is quite annoying how every time I breathe in, it goes in my mouth. So maybe I need to work on that. I do remember the first I shouldn't laugh about this, but the first time I went to hospital, I had my face mask on like that. And they said to me, you do need to cover your nose as well. Yeah, so I do remember that. It's not funny at all. It's not a funny situation, but that was one moment where there's not much point in having it on if it doesn't cover your nose as well. So if you are an instructor and you've now had the official news, because before now it's all been speculation, let me know, will you be going back to work or not? And because there's going to be far, far fewer instructors, the demand for lessons is going to be high, prices will probably be quite high. So that's what I spoke about in my previous video. So let's now move on to this second page on this website, which is written by the DVSA and the Right Honourable Grant Shapps MP. So this is all about theory tests, driving tests, and it's largely for people in England. This does not apply to people in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. So it says driving lessons and theory tests will restart, and it says will. I think they should say can. Doesn't mean they will restart. Driving lessons and theory tests will restart on Saturday, the 4th of July 2020 in England, and car driving tests will restart from Wednesday, the 22nd of July 2020. So tests will not be done before the 22nd of July. Now it goes on to say the DVSA has announced that learners can resume driving lessons and motorcycle training in England from the 4th of July. The rule applies to all types of driver and motorcycle training, including private practice with someone you live with or who's in your support bubble. So it says theory tests will restart in England on the 4th of July. So if you're wanting to take your theory test, centres are opening from the 4th of July. The test will take place with social distancing measures in place to help stop the spread of the virus. It says car driving tests will restart in England on Wednesday the 22nd of July, which will give learner drivers time to have refresher lessons and practice before taking their test. DVSA will make further announcements on the resumption of testing, training and lessons, including publishing information on how services will be restarted shortly. Will be restarted safely shortly. So here are the key dates. Lessons can resume from, as we said, 4th of July, theory tests 4th of July, driving tests 22nd of July. For motorcycles and mopeds, CBT 4th of July, Motorcycle Direct Access Scheme 4th of July, motorcycle theory tests 4th of July. Can anyone spot a trend here? Motorcycle and moped Module 1 and Module 2 tests 13th of July. Lorry, bus and coach, it's driver training 4th of July, theory tests 4th of July. Lorry, bus and coach tests 13th of July. Car and trailer, the training 4th of July, the test 13th of July. Tractor and specialist vehicles, is anyone out there learning a tractor? Let me know. Driver training 4th of July, driving tests 6th of July. That's quite interesting. So they're probably trying to get the agricultural workers back, I don't know, but tractors and specialist vehicles can do their tests from the 6th of July. Here's one that's important. Approved driving instructor test. Now let me talk about this. The reason this has been almost like a hidden problem throughout the last few months, when you become a driving instructor, you have to pass 3 tests. Part 1 is an advanced theory, Part 2, advanced driving, Part 3, test of ability to instruct. Now the thing is, you only have 2 years from the time you do your Part 1 to get the other 2 done. It's like when you do your driving test, you've got 2 years to pass your practical after you've done the theory. Now there are some poor people out there, and these people who moan about the theory test being delayed and having to take it again, spare a thought for the poor instructors out there, people who are known as PDIs, potential driving instructors, or as they're sometimes known, pretend driving instructors. But yeah, these poor people have done their advanced theory, passed an advanced driving test, and they've got to do all that again. So never mind having to retake your theory, they've got to take advanced theory and an advanced driving test, both of which cost far more than the standard ones do. So anyway, instructor training can resume from July the 4th. ADI Part 1 can resume from July the 4th. ADI Part 2, the advanced driving test, July 22nd. ADI Part 3 to be confirmed. ADI standards check to be confirmed. That's because on those tests there are 3 people in the car: learner, instructor and examiner. So I'm sure a lot of instructors are devastated to know that their standards check may be delayed by a few months. I'll be talking more about that in the future. Motorcycle training from the 4th of July. And this is what Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, had to say. Driving lessons and tests are vital in helping people get to work and visit loved ones and provide the skills for a lifetime of safe driving. As the country recovers from COVID-19, we can now open up our services to help get the country moving again, and I'm very pleased to announce the restart of driving tests and lessons in a COVID-secure way. The Chief Executive of the DVSA, Gareth Llewellyn, said it's been vital the lessons and tests only resume when safe to do so and in line with the government's advice. We know this has been a tough time for the whole country, including learners and driving instructors, but I'm pleased to announce the restart of lessons and tests in England. Again, for those of you in Wales and Scotland or whatever, I'm sorry, this is only for England. Tests for critical workers have continued during the lockdown, and I would like to thank all those instructors and examiners who have continued to work to help deliver tests for those who have done so much to help us during this terrible pandemic. Keep watching for more videos about this. Check out the other videos on the screen now, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.